Okay, this is another hint tutorial related to the idea of revolve. I know many of you in your machine mainly have some needs of the revolve command. So I will do a couple examples so you can get it exactly and quite nice. I think like a wheel or like for example the turbine, etc. The revolve. It's very powerful to use. So I'll start with that. I'm gonna go to the top view. Just remember, my computer's not quite cool about this, so I'm gonna go to the main view. I'll just span in the top, and I'm gonna do a section here with the curves. I'm gonna mix a couple type of lines so you know that it's perfectly possible. CV curve tool options, and I'm gonna go to curve, which is a degree 3, as you remember, and I'm gonna start, snapping to the grid here, like pressing X, as you know, snap to the grid, and then not snap without pressing X, and whatever curve that you may think of, and I'm gonna press Enter, and then I'm gonna say create civic curve options, and then I go to 1 to make a polyline type of line with degree 1, no? And I'm gonna snap to the curve, pressing C, so you remember, and I'm gonna make another type of line here. Then I'm gonna snap here to the grid X. Then I'm gonna go snap to the grid here and snap to the grid here. Perfect. Enter. So as you know, this could be a section of what I'm gonna do, the revolve of a kind of a wheel concept. So I can go here and right click and control vertex if I want to move, pressing W, any of these points specifically. Of course, this is quite without any rigor, but you see that as I'm moving now, I'm probably giving some type of detail that is more likely to fit with what I want. So that's very convenient. I can also go here and do the same, control vertex, and move these guys. This one could be here, and this one could be outside, and it could be even straight if you know, pressing shift, and you can create the straight lines in many ways. So the next step is for this section. This could be this section or whatever section you may have for your revolve. We have two curves, 1 and 2. What we want to do is select them both and say edit curves. We have to be in surface, of course, and edit curves and attach. No. Now, if you have any problem with that attach, it basically means that one of the curves have its ending in the opposite side. So just reverse one of the two, and it should attach correctly. I'm gonna go to the perspective, and I'm basically going to do the revolve very simple way, and you will see that it's going to give us a problem because of the axis of the revolve. If I select the profile or the section and I press surface and revolve, it does this thing. If I press 5, you see it's totally accurate. Why is this? If you go to Control A to the attribute editor, we see that the axis here for the revolve history 0, 1, 0. That means that the 1 is the Y, which means that the rotation of the axis is this axis doing this rotation. Basically, we need to make it the Z value 1. So let's press here 1. It's going to make something weird, and press here 0. And that's our perfect revolve with whatever detail that we wanted to do. As you can see, it's not nicely detailed. It's kind of crumbly. It's very simple. You select the object. You go again to the revolve 1, and here a little bit down in the same revolve history, you can just change the number of sections, and you see how it gets better and better. Now, if you want to do a final type of rendering, you should take this one, depending on the scale of your model and how how it looks. Basically, if you think it looks good when you render it, keep it that way. But I would take it all the way, depending on what detail you want to use. No, so that could be whatever. The only thing to be careful about this is obviously the section. You need that section, and if you don't have the section as a drawing, take it from the image the best you can, and if you have some other objects like connected to this, make sure that this will be a last or ending part of the section will have the measurement related to the next piece, etc., or vice versa if it comes from outside. So this is a great revolve. It could be for small, like whatever piece, such as like rings or something, or it could be for big, like wheels or whatever rotation system. I'm gonna do the other. I know that there's a type of a piece in the turbine that I think it could be helpful for many of you guys, or like once again for this ring concept. If you go to create a CV curve options and you go to 3 for degree, I can go to I'm in the top view. Let me actually go to the front view in this case. Wait, escape. I'm gonna make that one big, and I'm gonna make the section of, I think I did this in class, but I'll do it again. I'm gonna snap to the grid X, and then without pressing X, I'm gonna do the section of my little nice cute piece. And then at the end we need to press X, so it is finishing in the same axis here, and enter. It's not great, so I'm gonna just move the control points so they kind of make a, I know I'm gonna revolve this, so this should have a tangency related to the vertical tans here, so it should be like around here. Let me fix this thing so it's actually thinner and more nicely detailed. You can be as accurate as you want, and as you have to, actually, depending on the finishing of your model. This one's not that nice. There you go. This one should have some smooth continuity, because whatever you do here is going to be affected by the revolve command. And once again, this is going to be continuing, so you need to have this tangency of the vertical, if that's the case of your model, of course. So let me take this up. Okay, I think that looks nice. I like it. Let's go to the perspective and see what we have here. Let me go right click in object mode, and we have this type. I think this one's a little high, but let's go and control vertex and take this one lower and down here. Remember, I'm doing it from perspective, so I have to be aware that it has to be always in this plane, because I'm going to do a revolve through this axis. So I'm going to object mode, and let's do a very simple revolve, selecting the profile and say surface revolve. There we go, and it does this. Now, why? I mean, this may be what you want. It's actually quite nice for whatever other type of structure. It could be like a cement type of structure that holds a ceiling structure or something. But we actually wanted to rotate not in, let's see what axis. If we go to revolve here, the axis 0, 1, 0 again, which is the Y. This is the axis of rotation. That's why it's doing this rotation. So we need to change it in this case for the X in this direction, so we make the revolve in this other logic. So for that we need to press 1 here and 0 here, and there you have it. Now that's a perfect revolve. If you don't want this like facing like that, it's just a matter of selecting the whole thing and rotating it. You see it changes like the revolve for everything. So sometimes you may need to just select not the revolve but the object itself to rotate it. And you know, if you're happy with this, you may just delete the history of this piece, so it's not attached to the revolve, if you're happy and satisfied with it. And you can start doing, for example, for this piece, going to the deformation, and I don't know, you could, for example, create a cage lattice and go and right click to the cage lattice points and change some of the points. For example, let me move this one so it gives you see the deformation in relation to that cage. So there's many of course deformation that you may end up with, you know, for better or for worse, like this sample. But that could be one of your once again, the revolve has this characteristic that is kind of crumbly, so before deleting the history you should indeed change the span number, so you're working with a good number of geometry, so when you render it, it looks perfect. No? Okay, I think it's a great tip and hint right there.